it just goes right through your bones.
In addition to being without power and having no internet to be able to do schoolwork, we also don't have any water.
As you can see, I'm in my car right now because it's the only place we have heat.
Hi, Henry. This is Angelica.
I'm having a time breathing. I'm uncomfortable. I mean, Henry is 92, almost 93. My most concern is about keeping him warm. I took 4 blankets, wrapped him up really tight, like a tight mummy, and I got bathroom towels to lay on top of him because at night our temperature in the house is set at 32. He gets fluid in his lungs and it compromises his breathing. Our oxygen tank is on 0. We have no oxygen. So I called the hospice nurse, but they can't get through. They tried on Monday, but it was too icy, too slippery, so she turned back around.
We are in San Antonio, rolling power outages. We've got a comforter nailed up over our window with a sheet and blinds behind that. Candles that are completely covered throughout the room to help conserve body heat. All our kiddos are in the room as well. Of course, we've got blankets and towels at the bottom of all the doors. And we've duct taped up at the vent as well to keep a draft out. It's been about 4 days on and off, about 2 full days without and then rolling blackouts since, and we never know how long it's going to be on, if it's going to be on for 5 minutes or for an hour or 5 hours. We never know. We've been eating dinners here in the bathroom. So our bathroom is really cold, but we've been storing beautiful Lego buildings and absolute garbage food that doesn't have to be heated or cooled or prepared or anything like that. But we've been collecting snow and melting it on the grill. We've been collecting it in the bathtub so that we can use it to flush the toilet. It's been tough keeping all the grown-up concerns to the grown-ups and letting the kids just have fun.
I love everything that I did. My favorite thing is being with my family together.
You put the sensor light up there, so whenever, you know, we keep moving, it'll stay on. Made a pot of beans. I've been here for all my life, and this is this is the craziest I've ever seen it here. We try to wash the dishes in the dark there, but we get it done. So we had this in the garage, and it's a block of ice now. The perishables inside the refrigerator are, you know, going bad. So my daughter had a great idea by putting snow inside the ice chest. Oh my God, the power just came on. Okay, let's see how long we can get this going for. I gotta plug in my phone. We kept thinking when it came on, that was it, we're good, you know, we'll be fine.
On Tuesday or Wednesday, we were using the gas fireplace so that we could have some sort of heat, and we started smelling gas both inside and outside the house. So we called 911. We got out of the house as quick as we could. 911 never came. 3 hours pass. Finally, the gas company comes out. We have a massive leak. They were able to shut the gas off. But like I said, we were sitting outside with our dogs in one blanket for 3 hours waiting for someone to respond. And I think we're in for another freezing night tonight. So there's no telling when this is going to end or when we're going to be able to get back to normal life.
The elderly should not be put through this.
We just want this to be over. We're not used to this.
temperature in the house was 33 degrees, and now the power's back on, so it's warm, but we don't have any water. So I'm here to get water. I've been to several different stores, and no one has water.
Wow, that's a woman in Texas. In Houston, Texas, food banks are in crisis mode, with grocery stores unable to restock and kids not getting fed at school. I want to talk to Celia Cole, CEO of Feeding Texas. That's a network of food banks across the state. Celia, good morning. We've done a lot of work with your group in the past, part of Feeding America. What do you need? How do we get it to you?
Good morning. Well, thank you for having me. So we've got 21 food banks in our network, and fortunately they cover all of Texas. And we are already supplying meals and food to some of the warming shelters that have been set up. And then really just bracing for what's next. We know people are struggling to find food at the grocery store. We know people are going to have lost wages. People are facing obviously significant damage to their homes. So we are asking for financial donations to our network so that we can get the food banks the financial help they need. We are working with state officials to get water and ready-to-eat meals to the food bank so that we can continue to support those shelters.
Celia, I think that it's probably the case that in this past year with the pandemic that the food banks have been doing even more. Tell me a little bit about that and the strain there, but also do you need volunteers? You need people.
Need volunteers. And so, yes, this storm comes on top of an 11-month storm. We have been seeing, 60% more people needing help from food banks during the pandemic. Food banks are distributing twice as much food as they usually do. That's to the tune of about 75 million pounds of food every month, and serving over at least 1 million families every month. So our network is already strained, and we are already struggling to keep up. So volunteers are critical. We obviously lost a lot of our volunteers during the pandemic due to health concerns, but the food banks have done a great job creating a really safe way for people to volunteer, and that's going to be really critical in the weeks to come.
Celia, give us a website. How can people help watching this today?
So people can go to feedingtexas.org and click on the donate button. We are collecting donations on behalf of all of the 21 food banks in our network, and every dollar counts.
Yeah, no doubt. Good luck, okay?
Thank you, Celia. Thanks for all you do.
Temperatures drop.
My power went out at like 11:15 last night.
Kaya Schote and her neighbors in Dallas trying to figure out where to go, facing a second night without heat in their apartments after a historic winter storm.
My thermostat says about like 50 down to like 47 around there. I'm lucky. I'm on the first floor, so I get a fireplace, but I don't have any wood, so.
Traffic lights are out. Utility providers say the bitter cold weather impacted wind turbines, natural gas supplies, and other generators.
The rolling thing is not a good situation because nothing's rolling on. It's staying off. It's been since 2 a.m., no power.
Laura Eidman has been warming up in her SUV every hour, saying her apartment is now bitterly cold.
It's about 32 degrees.
Many people now questioning why the Dallas skyline was lit up for Valentine's Day, while others were told to conserve energy.
Knowing that anything downtown was lit up was totally irresponsible. But this is not right. I mean, no one should freeze.
Dallas leaders are asking downtown business owners to keep non-essential lights turned off overnight to help conserve power. For AccuWeather, I'm Bill Waddell.
It's water coming from the ceiling. Our whole apartment. Look at the... I can't believe this.
They over there asleep. We're down to the last piece of wood. We need some help. It's like feeling real helpless. Everybody went to sleep around the fireplace. Had probably 5-6 covers. They were snuggled up. I'm trying to keep the fire going because it's a fight to stay warm.
When that water came down and our neighbor called and showed me, it was very overwhelming.
There's the ceiling fan that's missing the blade. It landed on the bed. We were very lucky we were not in it.
You could hear the water from the ceiling, like outside the door. Like before you even open it, it sounds like it's just like Niagara Falls in there. We came from Michigan with nothing. And then we built up what we did have. And then now all of that is just going all over again.
You're just like, why? This should have never happened. Nobody should.
Would freeze, don't drive. There was no suspicion that we would be without electricity when it was below freezing temperatures outside, or that people would be without water. You know, we're in Texas. This isn't a winter state. There was no widespread education to wrap or insulate your pipes to prevent pipes from bursting. And so that little paucity of time where people were essentially trapped in their homes, we've seen a lot of cases come from this winter storm, including people who've been burned in fires, entire families who've had carbon monoxide poisoning. Because of the water outages, a lot of people who are on dialysis, for example, are missing dialysis and are showing up to hospitals extremely sick, or people who use medical equipment that require electricity are showing up requiring oxygen and very, very sick. So the aftermath of the storm is also proving to be quite a trying time as well.
Oh my gosh, and these carbon monoxide dangers, because in many cases people are in their cars trying to stay warm, or even using generators for the first time and really not knowing how properly to use them. I heard that from a lot of family members I have there in South Texas. So talk to me about what your hospital is up against without running water in the vicinity, or perhaps even your hospital is suffering through that. What does that mean for your equipment, sterilization, for being able to provide all that you can to your patients, for the washing of linens, all of those things that mean securing a sanitized environment?
So the problem with hospitals is that we're never allowed to close. It doesn't matter what's going on in the world or what's happening outside, our doors must remain open. And so for most of the hospitals in the Texas Medical Center, they may not have lost water completely, but the water pressure has gotten to dangerously low levels. And so we're on a water conservation monitoring phase, meaning don't wash your hands if you can avoid it, use hand sanitizer, things of that nature. They're providing bottled water to staff and to patients because a aside from not having water or having poor water pressure, we're now under a boil water notice. So the water that is coming out of the pipes isn't even safe to drink or necessarily to put on your skin. We have been making do with the resources that we have, but things are getting to be a little scary and a little dangerous because, again, we're having such a high influx of sick patients coming in. There aren't enough staff to take care of these